And turn on some lights.
I think we're live.
Ah, good go.
And mine's not working. So what is my luck? Okay, I do believe we're live.
I can hear you.
Yep, there we go. Everything working, guys? Can you hear everybody?
Yep, looks good to me.
Awesome. Okay, guys, welcome to Hysteria Nation tonight. I will be interviewing Mr. Jeremy Gaffney. He is responsible for such games as Lord of the Rings Online, WildStar, and plenty others. So feel free to chat, ask questions, and I'll relay them your way, or something like that.
Yeah, I'm happy to talk about just about anything. The stuff I've worked on is grand. Stuff other people have done is grand. I game a ton, and so I'm very into chatting about it all. Nothing's cooler than doing games.
Right. So I guess we could start off with let people know about yourself. I guess
Sure.
that'd be cool.
I started in like '93, like in the ancient mists of time. My friends and I wanted to get in the games industry, and so we couldn't. You know, everybody wants to get in the games industry because it's fun and stuff. And so we're like, okay, we will start a company, and I'll be like CEO of this, and you'll be like VP of that, and like we're kids and we're idiots, and so we're going to run out of money in about 6 months, but then we'll have like 6 months of experience, and we can go and get real jobs by dint of the fact that this resume is all bad. So that was Turbine Entertainment, which we did a game called Asheron's Call, which is one of the first MMOs, like right in the same era as like EverQuest and Ultima Online and all them. And we worked our butts on it. We ran out of money as predicted, like probably 5 or 6 times. We just kept working on it until we shipped it. So Turbine's now part of Warner Brothers. You know, Turbine went on to make like I said, Lord of the Rings Online, the Dungeons and Dragons Online, all sorts of games. And so we but we honestly we really didn't expect it to do anything. We just thought it was gonna flop because we were idiots. And while being idiots or not has not been proven, certainly it's the case that we did actually manage to stagger through. After that, I was a lead programmer on Ultima Online 2, the sequel to Ultima Online, and then started a company called Destination Games with Richard Garriott and his brother Robert. He's a super guy. Robert's so cool. And Starlong, and that got bought by NCSoft and became NCSoft U.S. headquarters. So while doing that, I did games like I was executive producer for City Heroes, and Guild Wars is another title signed up and put out Lineage 2, Auto Assault, Dungeon Runners, slew of different games. And then we acquired a group called Carbine, which was a lot of the seniors and leads from World of Warcraft. Back in 2006-ish, something like that. And they were working on a game called WildStar, which just came out a year and a little bit ago. So I headed up that studio for a while, 5 or 6 years, something like that. And for the last year or so, I've been sitting on my butt and playing games and relaxating, because each of these games is like years and years of crunch. And so I've taken a year off a couple times because doing 12 to 14-hour days adds up. It's nice to sit on your butt and kind of remember what games are like after now and again. So that's my background in a super quick nutshell.
So, I guess a good question would be, what's it like making a game?
Well, it varies. It kind of starts. There's 2 ways to kind of start it. You can start with an idea of like, hey, I want to do blah. I want to do the coolest procedural roguelike thing ever, and so I'm going to go work on that. Or it starts with a team of like, hey, I really like this guy and I really like her. She's cool, and so let's go form a team and then see what kind of game we want to do and start together. The and both ways kind of work, But at the end of the day, it's what are you going to do that really excites you? Some people are able to make games for people who aren't them. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I'll make games for kids. Um, or I'm going to make games for a market that you don't really know, but like your publisher says, oh hey, we really need something to appeal to 12 to 15-year-olds, in a particular demographic, or whatever, and that's a lot harder. It's a lot easier to make games that you love, and so all the games I've made have been in general, things where they're the kind of games that really geek me up. The process, though, I said it's long. It's very tough to. I've done a lot of online games, and they tend to be, I don't know, 5-year plus ship cycles. WoW is like 6.5 years. The most of the major MMOs you can mention, because you're making so much content, content takes forever. You make a ton of it, and every time you change your game design, you have to go change all the content. If you have 400, 500 hours of content, that means you have a lot of work to go do and retool it. It's a lot faster on like mobile games or casual games where those maybe ship in 6 months, 8 months, that kind of thing. That's part of why there's so many of them. 1,800 new mobile games came out last month. That's why. It's because they're much faster to make.
Like games with your tablet.
What was that?
And stuff like that, right? Like
Yeah, exactly.
games.
The they're simpler, and most of them don't usually have a ton of content to them. Portal is what, like maybe 10 hours of gameplay. So single player is a lot easier to make than online. And you'd think stuff would be really simple, like take Rocket League. I mean, that is cars and a ball, and in many ways, what could be simpler? But tuning that, and that's the second game in a series. The first was called I forget, Super Rocket Powered Car League.
Yeah.
Their marketing guys have done well on round two. But even that kind of a simple game, if it is competitive, if it's player versus player, means a lot of testing time, a lot of balancing, a lot of making sure that nothing's broken with it. And so even that kind of what appears to be a very simple game, that's a team of about 40 people that it takes to make that and produce it and to keep it running.
What would you say about games like MMOs at cross-platform? Well, I grew up on Final Fantasy
Good
11,
game.
and I still play that to this day. My whole family plays it. My wife plays it. My grandma plays it.
Man, you gotta hit
Everybody
grandma.
plays it. So, yeah, I know, right? What do you think about games like that?
RPGs is probably my favorite genre. I've made a lot of MMOs, but but RPGs are what got me into gaming. The Ultima series back in the day. It's part of why I liked working with Richard Garriott so much. It's just my respect for those games. But then the modern ones have gotten so good. Like Witcher 3 is awesome. Like such a good story and such good combat, and and such mad respect. I mean, you look how much content there is in that. That's a team of a lot of people, all of whom get it. You know what I mean? All of whom are dedicated to one goal, and that is making tens and tens of hours of gameplay content, which takes them thousands and thousands of hours to make. And so I have so much respect for that. Skyrim, so good. Man, all those games. So I love the RPG genre.
What do you think about for Final Fantasy?
I did
How it started, it's cross-platform. Where you can play with PC, or you can play with Xbox. But now it's coming to an end. And it's just PC. And a lot of people complain
I
about
don't
that.
know.
But I
I don't
understand.
know either. It's weird to me. PC makes a lot of sense. Like everyone's been saying PC is dead for a long time, but PC just keeps on living on. The making games cross-platform is quite tricky to do right. It's simple things. It's like the UI. If you're making a console game, they have what's called a 10-foot UI. You're supposed to be sitting on your couch, with your buds and like hanging back. And so the UI needs to be something you can see from quite a distance away, from 10 foot away. Um, PC, there tends to be a ton crowded in there. Controllers, it's gotten a lot easier to add controller support and keyboard support, but it's a decision you need to make every single time you do any interface, and so that ends up being quite hard to do. Um, Also, I'll be honest, it's a pain in the butt working with some of the back ends for the consoles for dealing with stuff like how you do authentication. Signing into your account for free to play. Doing monetization can be quite a pain in the butt. And it's very different per platform. So there's lots of reasons I think why making a game, if you're on a small budget, especially for one platform first, and then branching out to the other platforms makes sense. I don't know why the heck they veered off that. Um, yeah, I
I'm
don't
not
know.
sure.
The I've read gaps on Final Fantasy because I tend to crunch. Even when I've been like exec dude in a suit, I tend to crunch a lot. And so if I'm crunching when a game comes out, I end up not playing it. So I have weird gaps. So I've played some of the older Final Fantasies, but I actually haven't played the newer ones because I've been crunching the last couple of years. And so so I've missed out. I'm like the only person on the planet who I didn't follow the OJ trial at all because I was crunching. I was always scared they were going to retry it, and like I'd be one of the 12 guys in the country they can find who didn't really follow the trial, and so I'd be like pulled onto the jury or something like that because I don't really know what the heck that was all about because it was what 96, so I was in about a 4 or 5 year crunch, so I got no earthly idea of any of the details of that.
So, well, to my viewers out there, anybody got any questions you would like to ask real quick? I know my wife, Vale, wanted to ask you a question that, uh, what would be a way for somebody with limited income and no access to, I guess, funding, like with grants and stuff, to get started into the gaming
Yeah,
business?
that's a great question. There has never been a better time than right now to be doing that. And I say that because we started a company to get into the gaming industry. The But all the better now. The tools have gotten so good and so usable, and they remove a lot of the BS you have to do when normally you start up a game, and so you get to do more of the fun stuff faster. Like as an example, about 6 months ago, I'm like, well, I need to be coding something. And so I pulled up Visual Studio and I'm like, okay, I'll do all the crap you usually do when you start a new game project. So I write a little renderer and I wrote a little double buffer and I write the input layer and I write a little, UI so I can see what's going on screen. And I write a C++ preprocessor so I can like load in C++ code and make a little scripting language. And it's fun because, coding is fun, but it's the crap you go through for 3 or 4 months of BS before you can get to the fun stuff of like, oh, now I'm going to do some cool gameplay or whichevs. And so so then I used Unity. I'm like, well, there's a renderer that's fully functional and cooler than mine by a lot, and there's pretty awesome tool support. And oh, look, you can load all the stuff that I wrote. They've already pre-written, and it works well, and it's fast, and it's cross-platform trivially. And if you're doing mobile, Unity rocks. And then I used Unreal, and like I used UE4, and it's like, well, damn. On day 2, I have little AIs running around shooting each other in a full 3D world. By day 4, I have procedural 3D terrain, being generated, and the nav mesh is updating, and like that would have taken years, not just like 3 or 4 years ago even. The tool sets have gotten so good now that I think there's going to be, there's been kind of the indie explosion, they call it, with a lot of indie games coming out. The quality level on those is going to get better and better and better over the next couple of years. I think there's going to be another really strong flurry of games coming out just because of that. So I think there's really no better time to leap in and do that kind of stuff. I mean, heck, you look at Stardew Valley. I mean, that's not using any engine at all that I know of, or Maybe it's Unity. I forget. I've been playing it. I enjoy it. That's one guy. Working for 2.5 years, he makes